town celebrated 3 championships in 7 years, and rarely has someone so tough played so pivotal a part.
McCarty draws. McCarty in. McCarty scores! A magnificent goal! Darren McCarty!
Show that play. Lariano. Shanahan. There it is. He scores! The Red Wings have defeated Colorado. Darren McCarty.
Here's a break at center. McCarty. On ball. McCarty scores! Darren McCarty!
Here's Wolfie McCarty in. McCarty scores!
I love you, but you're a mess.
I am a mess. I'm a work in progress, I guess you could say.
Work in progress, yes, on a Wednesday night, 7:08 on this 7:10. All you smokers out there and tokers, happy 7:10, which is in the marijuana world. Yes, Billy, that's why you're looking me in the eyebrow, because you don't indulge, but we'll get to that. But it's 7:10, right? July 10th. So that's like 4:20 half. So it's like 7:10. So if for any of you out there, instead of the flower, which is, right, the cannabis, the flower that people smoke in joints, right? Now you see them, the dab rigs and the pens and the vape pens. Well, that's the concentrate. So it's their day. 420s for the flower. All right, that's a little bit. Hey, just a little bit of inside information here on Grind Time with Darren McCarty. If you haven't tuned in before, welcome. And if you have, welcome back. Big show today. I'm excited. Joined as always by my co-host, Perry Vellucci. Actually, you're just a co-host because you actually performed well in this last week.
Well,
How you doing, Perry?
I'm doing good, Mac.
Yeah. And on the ones and twos, being McCool's running security, I love it over there. But Easus, thanks for joining us today, buddy. We got the Big E.
No problem. Oh, I didn't think I was going to talk.
Well,
no problem, thank you.
No, I see. Just so you know who's running the ones and twos. Bam Bam's up north golfing with his boys, trying to lay the schmack down on some candy asses. So we're there. As if you're watching this on Facebook Live, you will see my guest, gentleman across kitty corner from me in the silky white, smooth, foxy Jimmy Page style. You go. Hey, you went from Keith Richards to Jimmy Page. So you Keith Page? Can I call you Keith Page
Sure.
now in this next rendition of Grindr?
You can do that.
Maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Jimmy Richards? Keith Page. Keith's your name. Anyways, Billy Reedy from obviously Nova Driver, Walk on Water, a little band called Grinder, and just my buddy. So we're gonna obviously we're gonna talk. I've been telling you, true reality of life, guys, is that we lose people. The unfortunate thing is, and before I continue, I want to just send a heartfelt shout out to Greg Johnson, former teammate, his family. Another pro athlete that took his own life. I played with Johnny my first year. Great guy. He had some concussion problems, some injury problems, and it was just too much for him, I guess. And that's the sad thing. And as much fun as we all have, the reality of life is there. And, I know that the NHLPA, as I've said before, is in the midst of a trial that by June 2020 to bring the test, Glenn Healy and the NHLPA to the forefront. So hopefully if there's something with the concussions or the PTSDs or whatever it is, lifestyle, who cares? I don't care about why. It's just we're here. And it just saddens me that stuff like that happens. So, I mean, what do? I got to address it because it's life. And in that, it's coming up on 20 years since I lost my dad, and Billy, it's just had the 10-year anniversary you losing the Chief. And if any of you out there know Reedy's Saloon, which used to be around the corner from Tiger Stadium, where the old Chief, where Billy used to sling burgers there all day long, and what a great time. We're going to get into that. And also, it's special today, too, because I got Tim Flambeau. Now, if you don't know anything about Tim Flambeau, Tim is actually one of very, very few civilians in this country that has security clearance because he works at MacDill Air Force Base, and he's one of my golf buddies down in Clearwater, Florida. So he's from Dearborn, and he's seen me back and forth down there for 6 years. So he's seen, I'm going to get into it with him a little bit in a bit, but he's seen the evolution of me, from going down to write the book, still drinking. We used to enjoy, Timmy, I'll tell you a little bit, Flambeau and I, is because we have this Sunday golf match, right? The International League, it's called, down in Florida at Clearwater Country Club. All you clowns down there, I'm coming back. And Queener, what are you talking? You're 30 now? Ross is still at 21. Charlie's at 23, probably. So how's Georgie playing?
Georgie's playing well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. See, the boys, they need me. I got to get back there. But anyway, so Flambeau, and we used to sit a few of us and drink a few pitchers after our Sunday rounds. But that would be always the day. But just over time, being down there, we developed friendship. So Timmy worked. You're the graphic. What is your official title there at McDill?
The official graphics POC for U.S. Central Command.
What's POC?
The personnel in charge.
Yes, like he's the man. Like, so explain that you have this security, like you're not a military guy, but you work in the highly...
I create all graphics for U.S. Central Command.
Yes.
But I can't talk about exactly what I do.
No, he isn't. He draws and creates and illustrates. He's an illustrator, right?
Correct. Graphic designer.
Graphic designer. So the graphic design. But anyways, who cares about any of that secret stuff? Anyways, what I like to know is the stuff that, like my man here is. I've gone to a couple of the what's the every year
Coalition Night.
What's it called?
Coalition Night.
Coalition Night, which is every year. Will you explain it?
60 countries that are represented at U.S. Central Command from around the world that are there. They clear out a hangar, and they set up tables, and they serve food and drink from their respective countries.
It's awesome.
And you couldn't get McCarty away from Mongolia.
No, dude, I crushed it, dude. And I went I was still drinking the first year I went. And then the next year I wasn't drinking, but it was still as much fun because of the food from all over. But you couldn't get me out of Mongo. For sure, Mongolian and, man, the Korean and everything there was good.
But one thing that really kind of taught me about what Darren is all about is I introduced him to the commander of U.S. Central Command, General Joe Votel, and his wife, and took a picture of him. And then after the picture, I look over, and Darren is standing over there with his arm around Mrs. Votel. And I said, "What were you talking to Mrs. Votel about?" He says, "Well, I told her, I said, I know what wives go through with their men being gone for long periods of time, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the general."
The support system.
Wow.
And I speak truly of it. Billy, you can even attest to that with Lisa, that, and that was, what was that, like 4 years ago, 5 years?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
But expressing I think with Grind Time, Nick asked me earlier, what is your mission statement? What is Grind Time about? And to me, it's about people, and it's about understanding things maybe that I didn't really get when I was younger, but understand it now. How important, because I was looking so much focus on me, trying to get to where I needed to get and to stay where I needed to get and to get that money and to get these championships, and you forget along the line. And I know that, people usually the closest to me get the brunt of it. So to be able to have a second chance and to be able to come back and to be able to be not only introduced, I guess, guys out there, if you want to say something to somebody, especially if it's a positive thing, no matter who they are, don't be afraid, because I think that what I've learned is just, if people start being a little bit nicer to each other or just care a little bit more, concerned, that's where it starts. So
Encourage.
Well, it's the courage. I think the biggest thing, and I always tell people, don't worry, it's a progress thing. But when anybody thinks about you, it's none of your business, right? And I can say it all day long now. also too say it that coming from a place in the past that I was absolutely the people pleaser, the opposite word about everybody thought, right? So just the fact to be able to come full circle and say, okay, now I see, and it's just not because it's the command, but at this moment, and I'm sure it led in because we were having a conversation, but you never know who you're going to meet. That leads me then to, I ran into you like that. I told this story last week, but I was geeking out in the media tent at the golf thing because I ran into John Feinstein, and then and he knew who I was. Yeah, so and that's one of the big golf historian reporters and stuff. So
I got a question for Tim. So Tim, and Billy, we've all been there with Mac in the drinking days and then the non-drinking days for almost 4 years now. I mean, how nice is this Mac to be around? I mean,
so much better. I think the hardest thing for me to watch, Mac was playing for the club championship, and the club championship is 36 holes in one day, and in between nines he came in, and I think you had 3 shots of tequila, and then you still had your beer in the cart.
Yeah, I know. It was ugly.
And you lost the club championship.
I did.
Which you could have just easily won.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, no, it is. But it's also one of those things is that I didn't deserve. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the greatest things for me, though, is to lose that. Because
learned from
something that I can't. Well, it was just that you're not where you want to be or you can't be where you want to get to. And I'm not going to say because I lost the club championship, it made me quit drinking because that's not it at all.
No.
But the person that I wanted to be, the golfer that I want to be, it definitely was getting in the way. So, it's really important that people know that the guys like Tim who, through everything that I was down there, even the first time, even through writing the book, through coming back and back and forth, it's like guy's always been there, as a big brother, and just sort of that's why I tell everybody that when you surround yourself, because the golf course was my sobriety, I could go out with a guy and it didn't matter, and it was at the point, and Billy, I know that you've struggled with this too, but at the point I didn't want it, so it didn't matter who was doing it, and it was the greatest thing because I was good with myself. I had to have my coffee or in the 80-degree weather or whatever like that, but it's one of those things that the hope, get back up. I always say it, if you fall down you get back up. It's so I mean, all of us in here are human beings, so just the fact to be able to talk about that and that still bothers me, and it probably because of who I lost it to too. that really burnt. But live and learn.
right.
Live and learn. Anything changed at the golf course?
No, it's still the same crummy course.
I love it. It's Bushwood. 6 carts. Everybody's got their own carts.
It's a country club.
It is. It is. It's Bushwood Country Club. So, Billy, I got you here tonight, obviously, Grinder, and where are we at with that?
I don't know.
I don't know. There, I just asked. There you go, guys. I just asked Billy Reedy, the guitarist of Grinder, where are we at with Grinder, and he said, I don't know, which to me means, what do you got in mind?
We hear something, and
yeah, okay.
we'll be ready to go.
So right now, what I've heard is Billy's earmuffs have been taken off. His headphones have been taken off. He's actually picked up a guitar, and I actually saw Vince ripping Van Halen the other day in his bass. Oh yeah. So Vince Mateus, my rhythm player in Grinder. I might have to. There's a couple good Van Halen songs I think we should do just so he can rip some solos.
God, have you heard David Lee Roth sing lately?
Is it bad?
Brutal. I mean, it's like he's turned into this thing that is like post. It's like he can't do the jumps anymore, but he still twirls and it's just
Where did you see him?
Oh, YouTube, man.
Oh.
Just look up the last.
No, I'd rather YouTube your chef Billy D's recipe.
I'll tell you what, Billy, Mac, when are we getting an invite? Because it's getting frustrated just watching the plates.
What are you talking?
I see the.
I
see
told
him
him not
also.
to invite you.
Oh,
Those
okay. Well,
are
that
good.
makes
I mean,
sense.
what do you think? I come right over
So
after.
he's just teasing me with the plates, and seeing the pictures of the plates. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it. I love
What is speaking of? All right, let's ask you this. What's one of the favorite? What's one of the things? Because I noticed that you're cooking different things. Is there something that you've found that you've enjoyed cooking that you never thought you would? Or is there a dish that you keep trying to hone, make it your own?
I make a wicked chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie
From scratch.
From scratch. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Grind time with Darren McCarty, Billy Reedy, and a chicken pot pie from scratch.
That's a seller.
I got to think because I know.
Well, I see you've been like stepping out, like you know what I mean. Like what?
I did chicken marsala.
Yeah.
That was a first adventure. My mother-in-law, and by the way, she had heart surgery today.
Oh.
Lisa's mom. I was at Beaumont all day today, up until about
Well,
5 o'clock, and everything went perfect.
Good. Prayers out there to.
It's like a theme for me coming on the show. We got Vince with this thing, and
Yeah. Well,
No,
and then
she's
hopefully
doing great.
it all works
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
or it's all good. So that's
but she is an incredible cook.
really.
Italian. So I mean, the spread. The first time I went to the Christmas deal at Lisa's parents' house. I was the table this long, full of everything you can imagine. But,
So you went from flipping burgers.
well,
Is that when you really started cooking? When you were working for your dad at the bar?
There was. I remember being 14 doing it, and on the big days they'd have the big either opening day or
Right.
parade day, and then at some point, I remember that was like my summer job, is I would go down there and especially game nights, and I mean I would have the grill. I have 30 burgers going.
By yourself?
By myself. I was
Get
about
outta
17
here,
years old.
holy-
and it just, yeah, but it was good. And then I cooked it. Then there would be like, I'd do Saturdays when I was running the place. I'd go and open up and I'd bartend and run the grill, you know, because you wouldn't get a crazy amount of business. One person could handle it on a Saturday afternoon game, you know, like 1 o'clock
Okay.
game. So, I'd walk out there $150 in tips and, you know, whatever, just kind of.
You were happy as hell at
I was
that
good.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was when I was about 20, after
Oh,
25.
okay.
But
Yeah.
still, it was just, you know, get you more hands-on with the place and knowing what's going on, and, you know. But
So the bar itself, Reedy's Bar, was that more just people coming in and having a drink before or after the games type of thing?
Well, what was the alignment down there? There was Casey's.
so,
There was
yeah, so
Reedy's.
if you went from Tiger Stadium,
Yeah.
we were a block and a half west.
Yeah.
So in that block, we were on the corner of Rosa Parks in Michigan. The Maltese Club was next to us, then Casey's.
Yeah.
And then when we had left there was a place called Oblivion's. And I haven't been down to the Avenue in a little bit, so I don't know if it's still there. Now on the other
Dude,
side.
now it's they got it's a mini.
Did you see the bar? It's like a law office now. I mean, it blew me away.
Oh yeah, I
That's
know,
like-
right? Everything blows me away downtown. Have you driven downtown since you've been home?
Not in a while. No.
No, I mean there's a
Courthouse.
lot of stuff going up, and a lot of stuff even from the last 20 years. You know, driving when we used to come into the Joe, the closest party store for chew or whatever is the one right across from the post office,
yeah.
right next to Haas's Subs.
I was there 2
I
weeks
love
ago.
Haas's Subs. Haas, what's up, bro? These subs are still awesome. Right down on the corner. But you drive, anywhere sort of towards there and then start heading towards the ballpark, towards the freeways and stuff. I mean, it's all different.
It's crazy now. My dad's been gone 10 years. He never would have thought of that because, he had said at one point, he goes, you're 2 generations away from you will not see, this town come back to what it was, which, there's things in that, but the Midtown and all the
Now, would you think that 10 years later, from your dad saying that, because this is a man that grew up here, that has seen, was through the 68, through the riots. Billy Martin, we're going to get into Wild, High, and Tight, the life and death of Billy Martin, because your dad and Billy were buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think he would have
no,
saw or projected or
Right, to see what it is
Yeah,
now.
yeah, no.
Even with the stadium, and it just blows me away how quick everything is. Like, granted, I've been away parts of 6 years, back since December, but it's still, you drive around and it's like, man, when did this come out? Good places you live.
it's something else. Like I said, I haven't been down there in a little bit. I didn't go to. I went to one preseason hockey game, so I haven't been back down there since then. And I haven't gone to a baseball game, which I don't.
I went to two because the Boston Tigers were in town, so I had to go see a couple of those guys
Boston,
play.
I like that. Mac and I were coming over the bridge from Windsor the other day, last week, and I was telling him the story. When you come over the bridge, I remember coming over in the early evenings, and you could see Tiger Stadium lit up. Mm-hmm. And that was just such a cool sight, and you knew the game was
Well, if you
going
got caught up on the bridge, right? You got caught up on the bridge, at least you could sort of like look in and like think you could watch the game or anything like that, you know?
Yep.
We used to.
Perry's scared of heights, by the way. Perry doesn't like driving over
I
the
knew
bridge.
you'd bring that up.
White knuckling motherfucker. I'm like, what's wrong? He's in the middle lane. I'm like, what's wrong? You're not going to fall over.
Let's take the tunnel.
We were on the outside lane, and it was all blocked off to one lane. Whatever, go.
Man, have you done the Mackinac Bridge?
Not in a long time.
Perry drives a Yugo. That's not good. The Yugo blew off there before.
You know what I thought about the other day? Speaking of Mackinac Bridges, when we were in the Upper Peninsula and the trailer came off the bus.
Oh man, there's so many. Hey, I was up in Sandusky. Wait, you can tell so many. We'll get in. You want to tell some grinder stories?
So we played first night. We played in Sault Ste. Marie. We actually played 2 nights at the Satisfied Frog. Remember that?
Sure. Yeah, I remember nothing.
It was like I bet you the place probably sat. I don't know, maybe 100. So we did 2 nights there. So the next show was in Houghton Hancock, and now it's like 15 degrees.
Listen, the bar's in the worst spot because it's on the corner of this hill. Every which way is hills. You're on the corner of this hill. I don't know what it was, but it was like. And then we're trying to park the trailer, and we had more trouble with the goddamn trailer.
The bus so we're driving, and it's a 2-lane highway, and there's at least, I don't know, 3-4 feet of snow on each side, you know. And this car pulls up next to the bus driver, and is like pointing like this. So we pull over, and the trailer with all the gear in it unhooked from the. It didn't unhook. It actually ripped the whole.
Yeah, ripped it all off. Froze. It was frozen. It ripped it off.
About 1.5 miles back. So we're driving back, and I'm just going, oh God, I'm expecting to see trailer.
Somebody run right into it.
Or head-on collision with the car. You know, it went. You can actually see the tracks where it just went off the side of the road, and it looked like a space landing craft crash landed. It
looked like somebody just took it off and left it there for a minute, like properly.
So nothing broke. Everything was fine, and it was packed really well. So first the cops show up, and he gets off. Like, oh, Darren McCarty. Evidence camera comes out. They get a Polaroid, and
it was a long time to Polaroid.
So, there's no cell phones even.
No, right. Yeah.
Thank God.
So we get a tow truck. We're only 45 minutes away from the show, so we tow it back. They get a welder. A welder comes out. He welds, fixes the trailer, and
it's amazing. It's amazing, and I got so much love for this state and for these people and people from this state and other states and everywhere around. It's just because, it's like you need a lending hand for something else, and everybody's, hey, I got a welder, my buddy is, and, that to me, that's what life's about. Because, remember, life's good, but it ain't easy. And shit happens.
You're halfway between the Sioux and Hancock Houghton and a welder. They just say, yeah, I'll do it for you.
Somebody hooked it up and fixed it, and we were on the way to.
Well, that's not the worst one, Billy. Because weren't you on the bus when it caught fire?
No, I was not. I was actually at work. Got the phone call. And I drove.
Oh, you drove out there and helped salvage.
Well, no, I got to the practice place. Oh. And Reed and Hyperman showed up with all our gear and everything. Was fine.
He was up in Sandusky, Tim.
Does he? How's he doing?
Tim and Cam, he said to say hi. They're doing
right,
good.
good.
What up, Hyper Dude? Yeah. Yeah, God.
And the other one I thought about was we went on a road trip. I forget where we were. We ended up at the new intersection in Grand Rapids because we had played the old one in the first year.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
awesome. I remember that show.
that
The
show was
old
crazy.
intersection, and there's no stage diving. But literally, the door to walk out, you had to walk outside sort of to get to the stage. Like the stage was set. Like it was just inviting you to stage dive. I think I did a few times.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
So on the start of the trip, I think we played Jackson first, and then ended up, the last show was in Grand Rapids. And one of our guys, Mark Gregg, he had two, looked like donut boxes, and they were brown. And he put them up in the overhead thing, and he had a cinder block and 2 pieces of PVC pipe. I said, what's that? He goes, you'll see. Okay, so after the show that night, we're out having our cookout, and he brings out the cinder block, the PVC pipes. He's got about 4-inch mortars, fireworks. So now he's lighting these things off, and they're going off about 40 feet in the air. Car alarms are going off. Craziness. So this goes on all weekend. We get to Grand Rapids. Now the new intersection is right next to a freeway. And you're right downtown Grand Rapids. So after the show, he's rifling them off, and
Right downtown.
cop car pulls up. Two male cops get out, and he's like, I got this. He goes out there, we got it. Same thing. Broke the camera out of the trunk. Pictures of him, he signs them. So we had about
See, guys, I'm bailing people out of trouble, not just drapes, for years.
So, Mark says to me, he says, hey, I got 5 more. And the cop said, just go ahead, fire them off, and just, put an end to it. 5 minutes later, another cop car pulls up. And Holmes over here goes, nah, I got it. 2 female cops couldn't give a shit who he was.
Yeah, no, chicks don't care. That's what we realized. I don't know that guy. No,
Wow.
we had some good times. So, going back to your dad and Billy Martin, how did they meet? Or how does this?
So you have to go back to, I think it was 1962. My dad got drafted at the age of 24 somehow. He got drafted in the Army. And he gets on a plane, and there's probably 4 people on the plane. And he's sitting middle seat in his own row, nobody around him. This guy gets on the plane, comes and sits right next to him. So they start talking. Turns out this guy's name is Art Fowler. And he just got traded from, he was a pitcher. Just got traded from, the Cincinnati Reds to the California Angels. And he was going to go home first in Spartansburg, South Carolina. So they end up splitting a bottle of whiskey together on the plane. My dad's going to the Army. Mm-hmm. He's going home for a few days. They keep in correspondence. Move up to, I think, 1967. Art tells my dad, he goes, I'm a pitching coach with the Denver Bears, and the manager's Billy Martin. So Art was Billy's pitching coach. 2 years later, Billy becomes the manager of the Twins, and Art's his pitching coach. So he would come to town. The first time, I was born in 70. First time that Billy Martin met my mom, she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
So, and then in 71, Billy becomes the manager of the Tigers.
Does Art come with him?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my dad called that the 2 hardest years of his life.
What, 2 hardest years of his life that Billy came here?
Oh, because they go out. They go to Lindell,
Yeah.
Coach House, the gas.
Lindell
light.
AC. Tim, you ever been there back in the day?
No.
Oh, that was a good spot. That was the sports bar. I mean, to walk in there reminded.
Oh.
It was almost like walking into Roma Cafe, but of sports instead of Italian.
Politicians and stuff. But so they, I remember, I would go with them to sitting at the Lindell, I'd be drinking a milk or a Coke.
Oh, yeah.
I had a milk with Frank Howard at the Lindell.
Big Frank.
Big Frank, Hondo.
Yeah.
And then Billy got fired here, and he went to Texas. And a couple years in Texas, and then the job opened up, the Yankee job, and then where it all goes from there. You know, they get swept in the '76 World Series, win the '77 series, and then with the whole Reggie thing and
Well, him and Reggie were good buddies, right?
yeah.
Oh, really? No, not at all.
Yeah.
Wild, High, and Tight, The Life and Death of Billy Martin. That's it. Hey, it's going to be a thick read.
Real quick, Mac, Teresa Solomon is saying good morning from Australia.
Oh, g'day, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa, for joining us. And then Kyle Krug is saying
Hey.
he checked in. He's checking in from Mexico City right now.
All right, you deserve that, kid,
That's
you poor
right, yeah,
bastard.
yeah.
Whenever
Hollywood.
you want to come in for a hug, kid, I'm giving out free hugs to the Krugers. That's a tough one for them. If you remember, Kyle's the father of Tori, number 47, Sparty. Lost in 7 for Boston, but he'll be back. He had great playoff. Great to get to know the family. So he'll be back, and I don't feel bad he's in Mexico.
No, and then Steve Shannon's going, what about the singing at the Post Bar? Didn't it start all there?
It actually, that's a great call, but it actually started back with the Hitmen over at home in Leamington back when I was 18 or 19. Actually,
Wait a
goes to
minute.
Jody Rafool and Bad Apples, Hitmen doing that. And then, that's what Steve's alluding to. He must have heard Jeremy back in the day. 'Cause that used to be, before karaoke, there used to be D-Mac Okie. And that used to be he'll play a song at the bar, jacked up, and usually it was Jeremy. So, Steve, I do remember those days. Now they gave me a microphone and my own stand. So we got that going for us. Yeah, which, by the way, that stand, which if anybody's not seen my guitar stand, it is
Where your mic stand?
my guitar stand. I don't have a guitar. There you go. I keep fucking
Yeah,
pretending
Billy,
to be one.
Stepping
My
in Billy's
my
realm.
microphone stand is a transmission.
Originally, we got it. You said it's a piston, and then you came walking in and it was a transmission.
It was a transmission, dude. Hey, I've been lugging that thing from move to move. I've moved 13 times since I've been in the band. You know how many times that thing's gone on a haul?
It's a piston. No, it's a...
I think it was Moyanis that said, he said, good God, what is that?
Good God, man. What are you trying to do? So, yeah, I mean, that's just, some of the crazy things, crazy times. I always think, like you said, so your dad's been gone 10 years, mine's 20. I don't know how many times, and more so nowadays, there's things that maybe he taught me growing up or said to me growing up that just never even computed. And it's like now I'm doing a lot of things that I swore I would never do because my dad did it. And, I'm just, what my thing is now? I'm just, I have a house now, but my lawn. I'm that guy. Me and my buddy Rob, and I got an unbelievable neighborhood. No, I'm not telling you where I live. I'd tell you, but the boss would get mad.
And she's just joined us. She just joined us?
Right, honey? I didn't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let him either.
Anyways, Big Rob across the road, who's he's sort of like the mayor, but he sets the precedent in the lawn care. So I found myself, I'll be up at 7 in the morning if I got to get it cut to how it looks, and but then I worry about the front, and then if I can see the back, and it just bothers. I mean, I'm that guy. I'm that guy right now. You're that guy too, McCool. That's why you and I get along, buddy. It's just like it's. Plus,
Once you get going, you can't stop.
Well, you can't because it's and you know what? There's something about it because I used to bitch and moan about cutting my grass growing up or whatever. Even though you cut it to play in it all the time or whatever like that. But now it's like I cut it just for the enjoyment of actually having a yard and for living in condos and different places for so long. It really is something to have I never really appreciated that, and coming from having things that you don't need to now having things that you enjoy. So
And it looks great.
My next big thing is I'm looking for some yard equipment. Like I don't know if I'm going to go with the what is it? The two stroke, the zero turn, zero gravity turn. No. I think I might go with the stand up because that thing flies. I'm watching these guys do all these grind. I'm like, this thing looks sick. So if anybody's got any, Nick at DarrenMcCarty.com, anybody who maybe got some advice on I know there's John Deere and there's what else?
Lawn tractors,
Craftsman, yeah. I think I got a Craftsman now. I'm bad because I got a rider, right? I got a Toro, but
then this is coming from a guy that was thinking a piston is a transmission.
Listen,
he wants to get on something that fast and moves and does everything.
Have I not told you guys that I know where the gas tank was? Right? Have I not said that? Now I'm turned into a huge NASCAR fan. Shout out to Alex Bowman and Justin Haley on the rain-soaking Daytona, but a win's a win. Doesn't matter how you get them.
Absolutely.
A win is a win. What were you going to say?
I was just that whole day when you were on the Detroit Grand Prix.
Oh.
It's like, okay, what?
Yeah, really. Talk about a non-car guy. He rides in the Grand Prix. Then a week later, he's the
yeah, but I didn't drive. I didn't have to. Well, I drove that, but it's only 55. I mean, I got some sick pictures too.
I was this close from photoshopping you driving the pace car at NASCAR with your elbow out the window.
You should have. Why didn't you? You're pretty good. Hey, you do have that.
I'll still do it. Send it to you.
As a graphic designer,
I think, Tim, you definitely have to do that.
It'd be classic.
Oh, absolutely. That's
classic. So we're so Tim's in town for the weekend. Is that what you're in for?
Till Monday.
We're gonna play a little golf tomorrow over at Dearborn. But in case you don't have an opportunity, Perry, you know what? I got a place where you, Perry, or you out there,
and I'm going to tell you about that place when you're done,
can go. Cattails Golf Club, 18-hole championship track in South Lyon, former home of the LPGA Futures Tour, Michigan Amateur Qualifier, and more. 2 very unique nines, 1 unique golfing experience. Wetlands featured on the front, hardwoods and native forests on the back. Range, multiple practice areas, Perry. Multiple practice areas, Perry. Come on out to the course that the Grind Time family plays. Check out our Facebook page and for an exclusive offer to Grind Time fans that will get you 18 holes and a cart during the week for $25. Mention DMAC25 at Cattails. Thank you, guys. You guys went out last week.
We took Damon Johnson, our guest from last week, the guitarist from Brother Kane, Thin Lizzy, and Alice Cooper. We took Damon out. He had a great time. Yeah, we really enjoyed it out there. I found it's a lot easier to play when I'm not playing with you. I'm a little more.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I don't know. My swing was a little more freer, a little relaxed. I don't know. Maybe that encouragement we were talking about, that support.
Were you getting your nuts toggled out there by the fellas, or what was going on?
No
one was kicking the dog, patting the dog.
Oh, we were just.
You're just out there having a fun
swinging,
day, having
know.
less stress, no stress.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to. What you're saying is that you don't like the on the course commentary while you're playing.
No, I don't mind it. I just
you don't like the on the course commentary about you when you're playing. Tim, can you?
I wanted to ask Perry if he had a Rock Hudson putt.
Oh yeah, one a little this way, a little that way, but it was straight.
No, but it wasn't.
Correct. That's Rock Hudson.
There you go. Tim knows about. See, Tim playing with me. He knows the fact that I like to talk it up a little bit. In fact, we have the guys we play with down there. We have the three. No, we have the Three Stooges. We got Larry, Moe, and Curly, and Uncle Charlie, Ross Conklin, and Georgie. Who's the club champ, by the way?
Oh God, I can't remember his name, but he doesn't look like a club champ, but.
Is it the guy that plays in the American League?
He's got a beat-up old golf cart. Yeah, I think he plays in the American League. wears long pants all the time. In Florida, wears long
Yeah,
pants.
um,
But hell of a golfer.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, yeah.
I know his name starts with a D.
Dahl.
Dahl. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He came in right before I was going to leave. You could tell he's a good player. Who did he beat in the finals?
Doc Fady.
Oh yeah.
What?
Wow.
Doc Fady.
Doc Fady.
Yeah, it's a DY, not a IE.
Okay.
Trust me. Doc Fady, I'm not going to put you in the easiest.
It was an honorable. It was an honorable degree.
It's an honorable degree, but he's a chiropractor.
Tim, yeah, how fun is it when you're golfing with them and everybody's in their carts ready to go and there's Mac still standing on the freaking tee box in the middle of the fairway holding a pose, and he's like, "Hey Mac, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm replaying this shot," and I'm like, "Yeah, how many times do you replay it?" "Well, this is slow motion now."
Yeah. I do. I've hit a few good shots in front of Tim before.
I just remember we were going over to play golf before Coalition Night, which we always did.
Yeah.
And
base. McGill, which is like anybody around here, so think Selfridge times 1,000.
Leaving from Seminole, and somebody asked Mac, like, what's the benefits of smoking pot as far as, I think it was still talking on our way back home, like 9 hours later, on the benefits.
Absolutely. Exactly, because the benefits are, the good ones are good and the bad ones just go away.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Dana tomorrow has one of the few Michigan licenses to grow pot.
It's good. That's
So,
good. That's and you know what? Speaking of that, as far as what I can see on the Laura front, what the regulations and everything's doing is that they put the press on as far as seeing, the applications and start processing. So if that's not true, let me know. But it seems like there's more due diligence and making it more affable for, that anybody can get in on a certain side. They seem to try to get their shit together.
It seems like it's moving a
It's
little bit.
moving, yeah,
it's moving forward at least.
And it's always interesting to have conversations with people that are involved at different levels because it's all communication to the bottom line. It's better way of life. Now, it's an option, right? Just like anything else. It's the same as your diet, same as anything else. When you learn your body, you take care of your digestive system, so you should take care of your endocannabinoid system. You should learn, if you're not going to eat sugar because you can't process it, well, then you should, it's all about personal education. I'm just here to tell you that not here to argue, but if you say, well, what do you mean by that? Send your emails. Perry at DarrenMcCarty.com, DMac at DarrenMcCarty.com, Nick at DarrenMcCarty.com. Send it to anybody at DarrenMcCarty.com. You might actually find somebody, but we'll get back to you. But that's all it is. It's a conversation to not be afraid to say, hey, there's something to this because, not the people that have come forward. And then you see it. Seeing is believing it. Using is believing it. I'm living proof why we're here, why I'm doing a grind time with Darren McCarty. I see things, because here's the one thing, guys. As you get healthier, right, no matter what, there's always going to be obstacles. Whatever your monster is, just always let them know that you know where they are. You see them. They can't hide on you. But the thing is that you can always move forward and get through it, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. Speaking of that, right? Exactly. So one of the things with Grind Time with Darren McCarty is what I want to bring different things to people out there with this option. So one of these things is that I've attached that Grind Time with Darren McCarty sort of flag to are a few. I mentioned the cattails for the golf because I'm in the golf. Well, if you're looking for CBD, right, which is the no hemp, so we're talking about all hemp, no THC, which is THC free, which means they can ship throughout the country and is legal. I implore you to go to Herbal Active. That's Herbal Active with no E on the end.com. So it's URBALACTIV.com. Put in the code DMAC25 for 25% off. Now, what you have to do is look into the bombs. If there's the things with the tinctures or the pills and stuff like that, helping with your sleep, helping with your anxiety, it's just taking the edge off is something to look into. That's why I also too is that I'll be announcing that I've actually attached my boat to one of these companies because for the sole purpose of coming out with my own CBD biofreeze, right? Which to this day that my boys Riley Cote and Scott Parker and the Body Check with just Body Check with a K Wellness is one of the best out there as far as a topical rub. Michigan 2.0, if you can get it anywhere, has THC in it, but a small amount, which actually works too. But the Herbal Active, however you want to try it, you look into it, and you can always start slow. But then, the same reason as I'm coming out with a 5 milligram CBD gummy. Why? So I can crush 1,000 of them. Really, it is. This is so I can, but I can also help people who want to slowly tiptoe into the cannabis world and not be afraid to because of the transparency. So that's all it is. Ask questions, the people out there to figure it out. But in the meantime, Herbal Active, it's absolute THC free. So that is the hemp that you hear about when you hear of the hemp. That's the CBD without the THC in it. Now, when you just to let everybody know, when you see that 0.3 THC, that's just the activator because of the way that the cannabinoids interact with each other. So pretty much it's like the doorman to the club. You on the list or you're not on the list, right? No THC, you got to wait in line. It'll work, take a little bit longer. THC helps in your body. And these are things that I continue to get educated on because smarter people than me tell me. Why? Because I ask questions. And that's all I do is ask, well, what do you mean by that? Or how can this? And if you don't believe me, just look at me. I'm living gosh darn proof. Timmy's seen me when I was 50 pounds heavier. I'm sitting here at 210 today, have blood work, health is as good as it's been in years to be able to go through different things. So, guys, I tell you this because it can be done, right? That what I might have is one thing different than you, and that's willpower. Like willpower to put my mind to something and no matter what it takes. So it's just deciding what that is and trying to make it constructive. So anybody out there, you too can do this. And I encourage you and implore you. And one of the people that I've met along the way out there, yesterday we were in Russian 5 over in Windsor, which was the Windsor International Film Festival brought back the Russian 5 because of the People's Choice Awards. And it was a beautiful, beautiful night. You can check pictures out on, I think on Instagram or stuff like that, which, by the way, next Wednesday, DarrenMcCarty.com is going to go live. And guys, it is fucking awesome. Everything Darren McCarty you need to know will be on this. I just saw it for the first time and I was blown away. So also too, let me show you this as we're getting into, if you can see this is Miracle Flow, guys. Miracle Flow. For all you mullet heads and all you hockey heads out there, we're going to talk to Phil when he gets the grind time with Darren McCarty Miracle Flow going. But you sure as shit better believe I'm going to use this in the morning. I'm not going home to shower. But I will use this in the morning because it's all about the flow. I might have to get the mullet back, boys. You never know.
Hey,
you never know.
My philosophy is if you have it, flaunt it.
That's it. Well, I mean, I guess so, Perry. You got no place to hide, Billy. We're gonna have to get you. We're gonna have to get you the Keith Page. The Keith Page. We get that shit glistening. Get that shit glistening. So 10 years, dude. Mm-hmm. So talk to me about, because what Has it gone quick? Has it gone slow? Has it? I guess I just want to put into. I guess anybody out there who's lost, a family member, but lost their dad, and because I know that my dad's been gone for 20 years, and when I lost the men in my life, I lost the accountability. People that were able to hold me accountable. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just the way it was. I'm surrounded by all women. It's not their fault. But, the accountability was Craig McCarty had that. Robert Pritchard had that first to my grandfather, but he passed away before I turned pro. But Craig McCarty always had that, and that's what I lost. And, and some realizing looking back it's that accountability because I didn't have it to myself. Right? I can say today I do. Today I can look in the mirror and self-awareness, good, bad, or indifferent. And even to be quite honest, this week has been a couple hang in theirs and say a few more prayers and God, like that. But that's life.
Yep.
And, we'll still be here and be able to do that. But the accountability. And because when you don't have it to yourself, either... For me, I believe it's because being everything to everybody else, but not really knowing who I was, to finally have that back. And it's tough to be whole when you're not. It's tough to, you can only go for so long to be empty inside and everything to everybody else. You got to step back to anybody out there and really look in because you got to take care of yourself. I say this to my wife all the time is, as far as whatever project, whether it's work or around the house or travel, whatever, you got to take care of yourself and make sure, you're number one as far as, health and wearing down. And I notice it to myself too. And I'm lucky because for whatever reason, it's usually Sundays and Mondays, which is usually time when I can sit and watch a NASCAR or golf or can use it to decompress. So I encourage everybody out there, it's okay to plan. I'm a guy that never planned, right? I'm just like, by the seat of your pants, say, what are we doing next? And we'll figure it out. Yeah, guess what? 2019 DMAC, it's not going to work for him. He needs to set it out. So we were here before everybody got here and having a little... I guess there were Wednesday powwows with Dom Ruggiero, who's my Comic-Con guy, who's got Donnybrook, the comic book, the Darren McCarty graphic novel, which they took My Last Fight, True Story of a Hockey Rock Star, turned it into a graphic novel, which is going to be awesome. Billy Tucci, thank you, my man, for doing the artistry. We got a lot of stuff going on with that, so I'll be over in Windsor for their Comic-Con in September. So if you're listening over there, I just committed to that. I know I'll be there for 3 hours on Saturday, the 21st, I believe. And then I know we have, stick around because we have a big announcement. September 22nd. You might want to say that
I didn't know
date.
if you wanted to bring that.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I want to let people know that I'm trying to plan. And it's going to be, I'm thinking it's going to be a golf thing, but it's going to be something. It's going to be a grind time. And I'm trying to figure out who wants to get involved, but I'm thinking of doing it after training camp. It's like September 22nd. It's a Sunday at the Cattails. And I guess if anybody wants to email Nick at DarrenMcCarty.com with any ideas, we're going to start brainstorming on it. And I guess, like I said to the guys, well, We'll work on it to see if it's plausible, but I think it's be able to do our own event with our own, benefits and as far as to the charities and the people to help out and whoever wants to be involved. So, Nick or Perry at DarrenMcCarty.com with your ideas. So we got a few months to get that entailed, but that's pretty much what we're going to do around here and with grind time. I know next week. Next week, I know that Dylan Playfair from Letterkenny, Letterkenny fame, everybody out there, we're gonna have him. We're gonna have him on, do an interview with him. I'm definitely gonna ask him about the garbage can because could be one of my favorite.
And people, you got to check out Letterkenny.
Oh yeah, if everybody hasn't checked out Letterkenny, That is your homework assignment from Grind Time this week, to check out Letterkenny before next week. Also, we're going to have a guest. Not sure which I'm going to commit to. I don't know what sport I'm going to commit to yet, but it could be hockey, baseball, or football. So be one of those groups that's somebody that you know from around here. So I'll just decide, work on schedules. Catch next Monday, Meadowbrook, Sparky Anderson's Catch Foundation. That's
a huge outing.
It is, and it's continued to be a huge outing since he's been gone, since he's been, not been manager of this. And I think Jim Hughes, shout out to you, buddy, because he's been there every year, every step of the way. And anytime that I know, I remember playing in that like my first couple of years, so that is something at Meadowbrook, which it's always interesting golf day at Meadowbrook. So actually this Saturday, I don't know what you guys got going on this weekend, but Saturday I'll be up at the Torch Lake Winery. We're going to be blasting some golf balls. There's going to be a meet and greet, telling some jokes, signing some autographs. I know they got a bunch of different things going on up there for the Torch Lake Vineyard. So check me out
That'll be a
there on
good time.
Saturday afternoon. I think it's 3 o'clock. We'll be up in that area the way. Don't have any comedy on tap. Got a bunch of golf stuff. I'm going to be playing golf tomorrow. What else going on? What else should I know about Florida, Tim? What have I missed in the past 6 months?
It's just been wet down there the last
What?
couple days.
I heard it was hot. Hot and wet.
Very hot, but last couple days been very wet. That storm's been passing through and heading towards New Orleans and Texas.
Any hurricanes?
Well, it's kind of like the start of.
Right.
So
Do they predict any hurricanes for this season yet?
it's going to happen because that Gulf temperature is 89 degrees.
That's not
the
good.
Gulf.
Yeah.
That's hot.
I mean, that's good for me, but I mean, you'd find me in there not mad, but El Nino might have a word for it. So, well, that's all right.
But you're missing out on the golf. Everybody misses you. Everybody's wondering when you're coming back to play.
Yeah, when it gets a little bit cooler. It was actually pretty cool to shout out to that because I was talking to H because Jake Kevorkian played over in Windsor and I saw him. He's one of the kids that played down at the course that we played at. So he was making his way on the PGA Canada Mackenzie Tour. So that was good. What do you got for this weekend, Perry?
Big family get together over by your hometown.
You going to King?
Going back?
Seville?
Yeah, played golf there yesterday. We definitely got to get you.
Shout out to
going
Greg
back.
Knox. I'm only going if I get to play the gold.
Yeah.
The
They
three
had
nines
us on
there, and the
they had
gold
us
is
on
one
red
of the
and
best
white.
nines around.
That's what everybody said. We played red and white.
Well,
but,
Perry, you go over there and you tell when Greg Knox gives me an invite to come watch him smash the ball because he can still hit it. But I gotta make my way back over and I can make putts in Canada. You were there.
Yeah, that's true.
You
were
can't
training.
say I didn't. I did.
Yeah, well, you know
Actually,
what? You had some
played-
good shots to make the putts.
Hey, here's a shout out today. I played golf this morning at Detroit Golf Club with Darren Pang
Oh, the Panger.
and Mike Bayoff. No bell. No, just kidding. There you go, buckets.
Yeah.
Poor little buckets. You get your bell.
Was he walking any shots off?
No, dude. He, he had the walkers going, but what a great time. And to be able to play it, but out there. And, dude, anytime you can get out, like one of the first times, you just buzz around. But thank you, Derek, and everybody over at Detroit Golf had a great time. What you really don't understand, too, I guess, or fathom, but you drive when we're playing today, so they got to take all that stuff down, right? So if anybody who is at the golf tournament and realizes all the village and the worlds and all these suites they had to go up, well, they got to come down. So I learned there's a little bit of something like this.
Wait, and that finished a week and a half ago?
Yeah, but here's so me asking questions, interested. How does it work? So what happens is the golf club contracts 64 days, or 64, 67 days from start to finish to be out, right? So they give them a window, and what they do is it takes them, they plan it out depending on the weather. Obviously, they can get it done quicker, but then it just goes from one, skip a few, and then there'll probably be like 3 tournaments down the road where they're all setting up again. So, I mean, it's always different things that you forget about. Well, you're always just looking for your own ball, so that's instead of worrying about every else and things that go into
Didn't
it. So
lose
it's still,
one yesterday.
my point being, it's still very cool to see that world of professional golf still going on even after it's been there, like the remnants of it, the things coming down, some of the, like playing 13, 14, 15, into the gauntlet with all the stands and stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the tower as my aim point.
How'd that work out for you?
Real good. I hit it real good today.
Did you?
Made a few putts.
Okay.
Made a few putts. It's all right. Yeah. I'm not mad at the way I'm hitting the ball right now. Can't wait for my new Cobra Club. One length. Hey, I told you that. I'm going to post this picture.
Did you get the new clubs yet?
No,
I was going to say, yeah.
But I have a picture of my swing speed with the 7-iron, and it's 12 miles off the club face faster. Off that club face with the Cobras, one piece. And Queener tried those out, but I went and got size for them. So I'm carrying that 7-iron 180 instead of like 162 or 3, which is different game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you're making putts with the Grind Time Super Stroke?
I am making Grind Time Super Stroke. Hey, I have never, Dean, if you're out there, bro. Oh, the putter grip the putter's never felt so good in my hands. If I had a spider, I'd probably make everything, but we're going to relate to that. I'm using like the old ping 2 answer right now, and I'm making some putts. Good roll. But I tell anybody out there, get a Super Stroke putter grip if you don't have one. You got one?
Yep.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
like it's because it's about taking your hands out of it. Billy's sitting over there going, bro, I play guitar, man. I don't. That's dag shit.
I
Well,
used,
that's
to,
a-
I used to golf with my dad.
Yeah.
A
Well,
little bit. I wasn't very good, but
it don't matter.
had a riot with him doing it.
Yeah.
He's always funny.
Gene Anders.
What about-
is that Bill Reedy here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Gene?
Yeah, Gene's like,
Ah,
Billy?
Big Gene. Hey, what up, fucker?
Yeah.
Hey, fucker, what you doing? Yeah. You meet me down by the van.
Jesus. The Cheech and Chong man.
Yeah. So, what about 10 years? Back to my original question 10 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago. Yeah.
It's gone by pretty fast, to be honest with you. So I mean, even
What do you miss the most other than the
Wait a minute. We got to reintroduce him. This is Billy Reedy.
Oh, Billy Reedy, lead guitarist, grinder,
Yeah, yeah.
BFF.
Talking about his dad and Reedy's bar.
Keith Page, because he's got the Jimmy Page locks now. And he always play like Keith Richards. To my Mac Jagger. Thanks, James. James B. Anders. No, what? But besides the obvious, obviously talking to him, obviously seeing him and stuff like that. But do you find, like in the kitchen, even
his ball busting. On
Yeah.
Saturday. Oh, it was the best. I mean, I tell Lisa never got to meet him, but I'll tell you a funny story. He was always this is when I was probably 16 or so, and he always up to a certain point. He was always, there was some animosity about the music thing, which I understand. As I'm older now, it wasn't. I took it as, you don't think I'm any good. So what did I do? I tried twice as hard.
right?
But it was, it's a rough business.
Right.
But, and he was always after me about cutting my hair. So one time Billy Martin was in town, and before this, my dad had told Billy, why don't you talk to him? Maybe you can get him to cut your hair. So I think I was in the back room of Reedy's, and Billy's like, your dad wants me to talk to you about cutting your hair. He goes, how you doing in school? I said, good. He goes, you like playing guitar, right? I said, yeah. You just staying out of trouble? I said, yeah. So Billy goes, what? Fuck him, don't cut your hair.
See, that's exactly right.
And Billy
exactly
Martin.
it.
I mean, that's, yeah.
When I was 11 and 12, or 10 and 11, I think, our summer trips used to involve Billy, basically. So if he was playing in Toronto, we'd go to Toronto, drive in on a Friday. They would drop me off at the ballpark. They'd suit me up, and I'd bat boy. So I do the whole series.
Oh man, that'd be
So
awesome.
now
With those
this
Yankee
is
teams?
no, this is the
No.
Oakland A's.
Oakland A's.
Oh,
Ricky Henderson is a rookie.
holy shit.
Man, they had the 5 pitchers.
Kingman there?
Yeah, they had the McCarty, Norris,
Yeah.
Keogh. So, and then I did that in Toronto and Chicago, Cleveland. I didn't do Cleveland. Milwaukee,
Detroit?
Oh yeah, anytime they come to Detroit.
Yeah.
So, Bill, I mean, I saw some things.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and-
Tell us the ones that don't get anybody in trouble or
No,
get
no,
anybody.
they're all gone.
Okay,
No,
well then
no one get trouble.
spill the bees so people know.
So there was. So if you think about the visitors' dugout at Tiger Stadium, if you were sitting in the first seat, the lip, you could set a beer there, but you could also, if you stood up, you could yell down into the dugout. So there was a guy, and I was sitting right there on the stool, you know.
Yeah,
front,
where,
right
where
there.
the bat boy
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Everybody remembers old Tiger Stadium. You
So-
actually be afraid that, today's day and age, you get a friggin' foul ball.
Oh
or
man, I mean,
whatever.
it was, that was the beauty of the ballpark. You were right there.
Yeah.
You know, but so there, during batting practice, there was a guy sitting there yelling at Billy. You know, he had blonde curly hair. I remember he was wearing a jean jacket, and he was saying, "F you, Billy, you ain't tough." No. So this goes on for about 5 innings. So I'm coming back with a bat that I just picked up. Guy got a hit. And Billy goes, "Let me see that bat." So the guy had a beer sitting there, and he just reached over. I handed him the bat. He reached over and went,
Spill it out.
oh, right on his head, and he said, what did he say? He goes, shut your fucking mouth. And then he handed me the bat, and I'm like, oh my God. But that was awesome.
He shut his mouth.
Oh yeah. And then they jerked him out of there.
Beer dumped in.
Little beer dumping and see you later.
One time,
I probably would have drank the beer. Then kicked him out.
Yeah, you're right.
they used to, the spreads after the games, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, two tables as long as this, full of roasters, chickens, and stuff. Well, they had just got their asses beat, and like bad, like 11-2 or something. And Billy was the last one coming in, and 2 players in front of him were laughing about something. So he got up at those tables, and he said, "You think that's funny? You want to see something funny?" He flipped both tables over, all the food, all over the place. And you could have heard a pin drop in that place. He walked to his office. He goes, "Now that's funny." Slammed the door.
And he was like that. What are the stories that you hear about
Oh, yeah.
Billy Barton?
Yeah, one day, batting practice at Tiger Stadium. I was sitting on the bench watching stuff, and he comes up. He goes, "Hey, fuckhead, come on, get your glove, let's go." Went out to second base with him, just getting balls.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Oh,
It was
that's
cool.
those are the
Those are
great
incredible memories.
And
yeah.
even today, like this is like 30, 40, like 35,
30.
37 years ago, almost 40 years
Yeah.
ago.
But one interesting thing about it was it kind of gave me a little bit of the taste of the road life,
Absolutely.
and these guys are all my dad's friends. So
Yep.
to me, it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
You know.
No, exactly.
You were just hanging out.
Well, right, which a lot of the time is what you see, and the maturity of some of these, kids that have parents that have played or have been around the game, have been in the locker room. You could speak.
Did you see Vladdy Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
Did you watch
in
that?
the home run
Let's
derby the other night?
Hey, let's talk about that for a minute. Okay?
I mean,
So-
that's the perfect example.
Listen, you could say, well, great. And here's my point of view, right? Home run contest, long drive contest. They're different scrambles in golf, right? Playing your own ball, playing best ball. All these matches, all these games, all these things are all different. So the fact that, and the fact to go out and it's the way, the evolution of the game. So we're talking baseball. Now it's strikeout or home run. And you look at the swing, it's a lot like the golf where they take the TrackMan and they track their swing velocity and their swing angle, and they can do all that because in the sabermetrics or people that hear these names or the names of all these numbers or the war, whatever. What they're talking about is just at the end of the day, the odds favor that if you swing for the fences and strike out is better than trying to, for the most part, get hits all over the place. So in saying that, that's to me was like watching the long drive contest and watching, like, you look at that second round. I mean, that is just like, awesome. and there's been some unbelievable. So Vladdy Guerrero Jr., right? He's 20 years old. Toronto. His dad, Vladdy Sr., was a great ball player. Could hit. Vladdy Sr., his dad, would hit the ball if it was pitched anywhere from above his head to below. I've seen him hit him off a bounce before. You know, like it's just a pure hand-eye coordination. But to watch, and if anybody didn't see it, these kids hit 29 and had to go to overtime with sweet strings. It ended up 40-39.
That was unreal.
I mean, it's just and the bombs that they're hitting. Then you look at all of them, and it's sort of, you look at, to me, baseball and golf have the same sort of correlation with the youth. The sort of, you know, it's becoming, baseball's turning almost more younger. Right, younger, you know, you look at the Acunas, the Lindors, you know, like even Mike Trout's young guy, you know, like as opposed to that. Then you got the golfers, you look at Matt Wolf, you look at Hovland, these two kids just finished their senior year. Wolf just wins last week. Plus you got, you know, like Lashley that won here. You got, you know, Cameron Champ that bombs it off the planet. You got all these kids that are all developed skills-wise a lot easier, and for the entertainment value, I just wish in the home run contest maybe they shortened it up, or maybe they did it, because the biggest issue, and I get it, is how can one guy win with 30 less homers or what? I get it. So maybe there should be a round. It should be a pool of 8, top 4, top 2 go, or something that I think.
How fast do you hit 10 out? Who knows?
That's you know, Perry. I mean, actually, Perry, I've heard so many ideas of yours over the years. That one actually isn't bad.
Tthank you.
Seriously, he's got one.
Yeah. But you know, and that goes back to Vladdy being only junior, only being 20 years old. But you know, he grew up in the clubhouse, in the locker room. He's out.
It's like when Prince Fielder was Cecil around here, and kids been raking him, hitting him out of the ballpark since he was like 9 years old. Since you get that opportunity, but you also too is it, you know, just because your name is that doesn't mean you're going to make it. But but if you have that desire, which gets passed down, I believe, in different ways, but then you're facilitated that opportunity, and then you use that opportunity to your advantage. That's what it is, you know. And that's the thing about, like, Billy. Right, not coming from it, but being around it, where you can tell the people that have been subject to, I guess, maturity at a younger level. You find that more in our age group than you do nowadays, right? Because everything's it's so quick.
It's truly what are you being exposed to?
Right. I mean, somebody mentioned it too, is because, and Jim Jackson actually today on Colin Cowherd mentioned that it used to be, and I remember it used to be, you get on the plane, you'd be playing cards, or guys, you'd be talking, there's interaction, you go to dinner, all this stuff, you know. He mentioned this in basketball. You don't, the competition, the championship, but you don't miss playing. You miss the guys, you miss all that, just different things. But nowadays, you know, like, really, you look at everybody's sort of into themselves, so they don't know how to communicate. And I think that's a big thing, is teaching this younger how to converse and communicate, because they're always, you know, all text or whatever. And I think that to this point, not only in sport, but in society, it can be a detriment. And a lot of times that's the maturity level that I think is missed. Yeah, athletically, skills-wise, you going through any sport, they're better, but they're not mature. And in that case, that's where not being mature is the same thing to me as not having a baby's head fully developed. Remember the soft spot? You know, you're supposed to hold the baby's head until it's soft spot. That's still like the soft spot for these athletes. And so when you say to me, oh, this guy, but he grew up around the game, well, you could tell, right? or a guy who grew up at a golf course? Well, yeah, because he knows how to act. That's, you know, the bottom line. So it's trying to get the communication, and the best of the young ones, they know how to combine them. They know how to look you in the face and have a conversation, and also use you know, their gadgets, but they know what the balance is. So, you know, it really not surprised me, but you look at it, and people, if they want to see, because there's this R.J. Hampton, right? Now, if you haven't heard R.J. Hampton, he's one of the top recruited high school kids, but he's going to New Zealand to play pro. And he was on the Colin Cowherd show, and this kid for an 18-year-old has great head on his shoulders, but you can tell because of the parents. And he was going through the fact that Colin asked him, said, well, you know, when was it you make the decision, you know, not to go here because you've been offered to, you know, like Duke and Georgia Tech or whatever, Memphis, whoever. And he said, well, you know, the conversations, and you can relate to this, is the living room's right next to the stairs, right? So a lot of things is when things are getting said on the stairs, and then there's a conversation. So he stood on the stairs for an hour as they talked about it, and the family talked about it, and it eventually was his decision. So the family's now going. But just the fact that there's that communication, everybody's on the same page. He's somebody to look forward to because it sets a precedence also in another way to do it. You know, it's amazing.
I find it interesting that they're actually banning like video games in the clubhouses now and stuff, are pulling down their time that these guys are able to play.
Well, and see, to me, that's just the way the world has evolved into, not more or less these guys' fault, but the fact it's pretty sad when you have to put a freaking timeout on a. But that's where we've gotten to.
You imagine bowling with this kind of stuff?
Oh my God, that happened once. There'd be no internet in there. There'd be no like Verizon or
Your phone.
AT&T.
Your
There'd be no phone
checked
access.
in. Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, geez.
Well, Billy, did you? I mean, being in the clubhouse, in the locker room, and all that, did you see that structure, the hierarchy, you know, with the younger kids to the veteran players? And I mean, back then, what was it like? You know, back in the
like you mentioned, Ricky Henderson was a rookie in the Oakland teams. Was he like brash Ricky?
No,
he was
nice.
Yes,
I mean, I still, you know, if I ran into Ricky Henderson, I would still, you know, expect him to be nice.
Right.
But I think he got a little Showtime-ish with it.
Right.
You
But
know,
he wasn't that way.
No, he was. There was one time. It was the last game of the year, and Ricky needed like 2 stolen bases to set a record, and it was cold. It was like in Milwaukee, and he's from California. He came up to Billy and said, "Skip, I want to go home. I don't want to play today." Billy's like, "What are you talking about? You need 2 stolen bases." So he said, "Listen, you get your 2 stolen bases, I'll pull you out of the game." So Ricky Henderson was the leadoff hitter. First pitch, boom, right field. Second pitch, he steals second base. Third pitch, he steals third base. They give him the base. Maybe he's gone by the 5th inning.
That's crazy.
The Ricky Beater.
There was a guy named Cliff Johnson. He was a utility guy for Billy. He played catcher, did everything but pitch, and he would follow Billy around. He played with the Yankees, and so we were after. So anytime we would do this, we would always stay in the same hotel as the team,
right?
Because Billy would get my dad the team rate, you know.
Yeah.
And when I said earlier they would drop me off at the ballpark, sometimes they wouldn't even come to the game. My parents would go, shopping.
Right.
But I would get back on the team bus and go back to the hotel. So basically being babysat by Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball.
and
how I can't think of anything better. I would honestly love to be a bat boy for a day. That would be sick. Or just shag.
Absolutely.
I got run over by Lance Parrish.
Oh, you lucky bastard! That's my guy.
I got smoked.
That's my guy, dude.
Hat one way, me the other. But yeah.
Where's YouTube?
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Back in the
But
day. That's my guy.
Oh, so we were sitting at the bar in the hotel in Toronto, and I'm doing whatever, and there was a doubleheader that weekend, so there was I bat boyed for 4 games, and the guys are all messing with me, like Steve McCarty picked me up and threw me into the towel bin, whatever, So we're sitting at the bar, and it's busy. You know, there's people, and it wasn't really noisy, but it was, you know, a lot of people there. And Cliff Johnson saw me, stopped dead in his tracks, and tackled me right out of the chair on the floor. He's rolling around wrestling. People are like, going, what the? So zip ahead to like probably 2000. So that was like 1981. My dad and I go to New York for the Yankee old timer game.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, everybody invited him back to the party, and so, sure as shit, Cliff Johnson's there, and I haven't seen him since I was a little
Talking again?
Oh yeah. So, my dad said, "Hey, you know who this is?" He goes, "Oh man." I said, "You want to wrestle now?" But, that was a lot of fun. That's some good stuff there. I always remember one thing. We were sitting, probably 15 rows in the corner of home plate at old Yankee Stadium, and they played the old timers game, and then the Yankees were playing the Twins, and now this is 2000, so Jeter's there. Him and Tino Martinez started playing catch, and they were 5 feet away from each other. By the time they got done, Jeter was by home plate, Martinez was in right field.
I know,
and they were
right?
throwing and we were just both sitting there watching this, not saying anything. They got about 35 feet away from her, and he goes, "You watching this?" I said, "Oh yeah." I mean, they were just, you know, ropes to each other, just nothing.
It's amazing, you know. And I encourage anybody, if you can get to a game to watch batting practice, or even see guys warm up to
Oh
throw
yeah,
the ball.
I stood from me to him to a major league fastball, and at an early age I understood it. And so I could hit it. No, you couldn't. Try it in front of 60,000 people too, you know, and see if it moves. Then try and hit that. I mean, you got to. You ever play catch with this guy?
Mac, I play catch. Yeah.
Yeah. You throw his knuckle.
Well, that's with a
back in the
softball.
day.
That was
Oh, okay.
no,
No,
back in
he's
the day. No,
hard-
back.
hardball. No, he's
What's he got?
Knuckleball.
Okay.
I had to tell him to stop because I was just like, dude. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a catcher. Catchers throw good knuckleballs.
I was just wondering, was there any former Tiger or couple Tiger players that you bonded with, had a good relationship?
not really, because I actually, at the same time that this was going on with Billy, I worked part-time at the Visitors Clubhouse. So I got the coolest.
Who would, tell us, is working at the Visitors Clubhouse or a bat boy, and who is a guy who is really cool, like who's somebody that was really cool, or
The 1981 Milwaukee Brewers.
the whole team?
Harvey
Oh, they were
Wallbangers?
great. They were great.
Like who was on that team?
Mahler,
Robin Yount?
Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas.
All those guys are great guys.
Oh man, just great.
I love to hear that. I'm a big Robin Yount, Paul Molitor. I actually have a Paul autograph there to Darren from Paul Molitor baseball.
Oh yeah.
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 You know, we do stuff like shine the shoes, hang jerseys up, and
Yeah, the locker room stuff.
Yeah, like-
important. All the stuff to make it look clean.
And so it was colder at that point, so they were using hand warmers and stuff, and it was basically a tin with like charcoal in it. That's how. But I was getting coffees for Paul Molitor all weekend, and the last day they were getting ready to leave, and he said, "Hey," he pulls out a 20. I was like, "Oh," and the other guy's going, "Take it. What are you doing?" But I ran into him through my dad years later.
Really?
Yeah, I was about 22, and we were at something, and we were at the Ritz-Carlton in Dearborn, and they were staying there, and the old man goes, "Hey, look at it's Paul Molitor." So, well, I walked up to him and introduced myself to him.
Nice.
It was
That's
cool.
awesome.
That was just cool.
See, that's what it's all about. And, it's all the, and you mentioned that, Billy, but, everywhere we went on the road, there was always locker room guys, a lot of the stick guys, a lot of the locker room kids that start in the visitors room end up getting the job in the big room. It's all in the stuff, but they're just as important. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you always have fun with those guys, but they're, and in baseball even so, because you're there for so long, you're almost like concierge.
That's it. It's so funny. I remember this. So back in 74, I want to say 75.
1874.
Yeah, 40 some years ago. So I used to have a free press route. I'm delivering the paper. It's an early Saturday morning, middle of summer. Sun's already coming out, 6 a.m. And the one house,
$1.50 McCool.
and the one house I go and I walk up and there's a Carl Yastrzemski Boston uniform hanging drying in the sun. And I'm going, what the hell? Is, I dropped the paper off. Come to find out, Rip Collins.
Rip, that's my man.
Well, Rip was the visitor. I come out, and I'm going, that really was Yaz's uniform. He's air drying it because that's the way Yaz wanted it.
That's who I work for. There.
That's crazy.
It's hanging on the front porch in the sun at 6 a.m. The sun's coming out. He's drying it for the Saturday afternoon game.
There you go. Carl Yastrzemski's secret is he's sun-baked.
Yeah, Rip was a great guy.
Yeah,
Rip Collins. He was the guy that, if I'm correct, he had a lot to do with the Lions teams back in the day.
He ran the locker rooms for the visiting teams.
Yeah, and Lions and Tigers. But
they used to be out of the same place, right?
Yeah, he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
I mean, that story. I'm going, wait a minute.
So we used to cater the visitors clubhouse.
Yeah.
So that through Rip, and that's how that all.
Oh,
that
okay,
yeah.
Right. You keep that connection, and you know what? That's the whole thing. If you look at it, you walk around. That's the one thing that I miss about the Joe is you got to relearn where everybody is. And what I mean by that is people that work at Joe Louis Arena, you got to understand, we're in there 20-some years. I know exactly who stands where when I come into the rink or who to look for. I'm missing a lot of my peeps right now. I can see some of them, but this new rink's really large. But, you miss that. And when everybody asks me about, it's an unbelievable entertainment facility. Now, as Stevie's back and as the team gets going and you got something to cheer for, now it's the fans' responsibility is to find out where your spot is and how you're going to turn that thing. It's never be the Joe because it's
different building.
It's a different feel, different building. But we know how to get that home ice advantage, and that's what I'll be looking forward to. It's a collective effort from everybody, and we know that because we've done it a lot. See, it hasn't been 42 years, so it's only been 11. But now's the time where it's something that I'm really excited about. What do you? What are you feeling?
It's great. I think it's great that the last 4 or 5 months, or since Stevie was there, but there's been some anniversaries too. I've seen a lot of different things like the Lemieux, like you did the Lemieux fight online, stuff like that. And I actually watched. I think I watched that entire game online one day. I was just nothing. I'm like, and it's cool. I think
You've seen the Russian 5, haven't you?
I have. That was incredible.
Sick, right? I mean, because you live right through it. You live right all that stuff. I mean, anybody doesn't know, Grindr started to raise money for Vladdy and Sergey at the benefit after we won in '98. And
it was just
and now we're sitting here 20-some years later, and
when was the last time you saw Sergey Fedorov?
In person? A few years.
Yeah.
Probably the. Did he play in Colorado?
I don't think so. And
Toronto.
I don't think he made it back. Did he make it back for the closing of the Joe? I don't recall.
Why are you guys asking the stoner?
Yeah, I was
fucking memory. Fuck you guys.
So, hey, what's your memory of
fucking setup?
What's your memory of Old Tiger Stadium? You got any good memories?
You hit a home run there, didn't you?
Fuck yeah, 3.
My man.
Not like Drape, but Drapes went upper deck right field. That's his best story
Right field, though.
He went upper deck. It doesn't matter, Perry, when you launch it where Gibby did. Back in, to win the series, and he hit it almost in the same spot.
I saw so many home runs in right field there where the guy would go back to the wall, and
because he hit the overhang.
The overhang was great.
It was. But I remember Drapes hitting it out because Sammy Sosa and the Cubs were warming up in right field, and he ran the bases and slid it home, and they were like, "What the?" Because they had uniforms on. I remember Fick's home run at the closing of the Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
I remember going down there in '93 for opening, or '94 for opening day with Proby and Sheldon Kennedy and Vinnie Johnson on the Harleys. I remember I've got foul ball there. I was sitting behind the bench, me and Timmy Harris and Griffin. Griffin was probably like 2 years old. Matt Wallback former catcher of the Tigers, was playing for LA, so I was sitting behind the bench. Foul ball section over. Everybody missed it. Bounced up in the air. I had Griffin in my lap. Reached up, grabbed that one. That's the second best ball I've gotten. The best one was in left field. I outraced Drapes in the playoffs. And I might have cheap shotted him to get the ball, but he deserved it. So I outran Drapes on something.
I saw Jason Thompson hit one over the roof.
Oh, you were there when when he became rooftop. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
It's such great, man. And then you look at it now, but it just, like you said, I mean, Olympia, Tiger State, there's something to the old adage of, bitching and moaning and getting the seat behind the pole where you have to look both ways, whatever, big deal. You sort of miss that.
Remember being at a game with my dad, and I was probably, 6, 7. We're sitting first base side, second. You had the lower bowl, and then you had so we're sitting back about maybe 10 rows. Guy launches a foul ball to the point, and my dad just grabbed my head, put it down, and all I heard was, so me being me, why didn't you try to catch it? He goes, you want a ball? I'll get you a ball.
Sounds like the Chief.
That's
I have something for you. I interviewed Roger Clemens after he struck out 20 Tigers.
Nice.
Wow.
You did?
I did.
What'd you ask him?
I asked him what it was like to do it a second time because he already had done it.
Did you say it was better the second time?
Better the second time.
Did you say why?
Just the nostalgia of Tiger Stadium.
That's
being
awesome.
there, it was incredible.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our whack reporter, McCool. Right there. He wears a lot of hats, that cool McCool guy. That's his first name, Cool McCool.
I tell you, the greatest thing I saw there was back in '95. I was working with the Seattle TV crew for the weekend series. Seattle was in town, and I was in the box with both announcers. And, I mean, talk about balls coming back quick. Back at the old Tiger Stadium, they get back there in a hurry. And fortunately, I got a couple. They let me keep them. But the best part was this was the Seattle team.
Oh, Randy Johnson.
And, well,
Griffey
the hitters.
Edgar
We go
Martinez,
down, I had to be there
Junior.
early and watch BP. Junior, Kingman, Martinez. I mean, they had, whatever their nickname was. And just watching the bombs in BP that they were hitting out, which goes back to, like we were saying earlier, with the home run derby. That's what every one of these
It's crazy.
guys.
Like when you watch the home run derby, you watch it now. It's like it's like a no doubter. Like the contact of the ball. Before it used to be like guys just weren't that strong and didn't know enough about the swing because you just see like the one Gallo hit last night and the guy like he was sitting on it. If you can sit on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and make perfect contact, it's crazy.
Well,
Just watching I can't believe what's his face hit 91 home runs the other night
and lost.
and lost. But
That was the way, yeah.
Dude, I love the fact that so Pete Alonso, who won it from the Mets, right at first base, and they had him. And I love the fact that anybody watched the All-Star game yesterday that they had the guys mic'd up as they were playing.
That was pretty funny.
It was cool, but like they're asking Alonso, "Oh man, how tired or whatever?" He's like, "No, dude, I was good." Of course he's good. Kid's jacked like a freaking.
He just won $1 million too.
Lineman. Yeah, he won $1 million and he only makes $550.
That's awesome.
He's on the rookie contract.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. That's
that's a good little bonus.
Well, how cool was that? Clayton Kershaw comes running back out with his kids. And,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool too
Jock.
that Justin Bieber's brother Shane Bieber got the MVP. That's a good story though. I'm just kidding. Shane.
Wasn't
Bieber
it Bueller against Bieber?
Bieber and Bueller.
Ferris against Justin.
There you go. Did you make that one up yourself, or just somebody? You
I read
stole
it today.
from somebody?
today.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Yeah.
You got any good big plans this weekend, Billy, or any recipes you're gonna?
I don't know what's going on because we got Lisa's mom.
Yeah. So you're just up in the air. Well, grind time, wishes and prayers to you and your family. As always, thanks for being here. And as you heard it here, guys, I asked Billy Reedy. Oh, speaking of that, before I end this, do you have a favorite grinder show we ever played?
That Arts Beats and Eats one.
Yeah, that was freaking sick. Open up for live 10,000, 12,000
Sean,
people. I'd like to do that.
16,000.
16,000. I can't count that many. There's a lot.
That was a good one. I mean, there's other shows I remember that the Battle Creek Taste Fest. You remember this one?
Oh yeah. Well, I had the Rome show.
Well, no, but you got hit in the face with a beer. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it because guys were running.
I took.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Can or bottle?
Plastic
No, it was a
cup. But I always played stage right to him, and I was looking at it, and it was a parking lot, and there's probably about 1,500 people there. It was a good sized show, and the parking lights had come on because it was starting to get dusk, and I saw something flying through the air. And as it got closer, it was a cup, and the beer was still in the cup for some reason. And it hit him square in the face, and when it hit him, it just exploded, right? So first thing he does, we've got Mike Moyanis on my stage. He's getting ready to go tear somebody's head off. He looks down at the crowd, and the guy that threw it, everybody around him kind of did this.
I stopped and looked, and they all go, whoa.
So,
and they go,
and my man starts, kind of tries to get out of there. I thought he was going to get away, so I ran off the stage. Let's just say that things didn't go very well for this guy, and they ended up just kicking him out. But
yeah, you don't want to do that. You know what, guys? Yeah, I drink coffee now. Please don't throw coffee. No. I mean, especially now. I mean, you know what? You're not gonna have. I don't even want to have that ever happen because there's no need anymore.
I mean, you're defenseless up there.
Well, I mean, it's all right. I mean, if somebody wants to take a shot. You know, what do I say, Perry? Better make it good. Either kill me or knock me out, or it's my turn.
That first one, yeah.
No, it's my turn. Yeah, I like the Jim Rome one.
That was a good one, too.
Double duty. That was fun that time. But
We played the Machine Shop that night, too.
Absolutely. Machine Shop's always fun.
I was just talking about that today because I can't hear.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So,
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Do you think we were ever telling you that as you're turn it up to 12, man? It only goes to 10. Somebody said 11. No, Billy's goes to 12.
120 decibels at the Machine Shop. God.
No, that's good. What about you? You got big plans for the family? You got any barbecues or any?
Nothing, just golf.
Just golf. I like it.
I just wanted to say one thing about the Tiger Stadium stuff.
Yeah. What do you got? Any memories?
The one main memory, first time Dad took me in T-Ham.
T-Ham, yep.
To a Tiger game. And as you walk the ramp and you get to the stairwell to get to your seat, I never saw green grass like that before.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's a great, Timmy, that's a great point because the grass, it was like Field of Dreams.
Oh,
you know, just the manicuredness and I guess, you know, it differed, but at the time being downtown Detroit and, you know, to walk in out of the concrete jungle and it's just.
Oh, you walk in the smells. I mean, the you know.
What, the bathroom?
Oh, the hot dogs, the beer.
Wherever you walked around the corner, you knew exactly where it was there. I mean, what? Anybody know what the oldest ballpark?
Fenway or Wrigley. Yeah. But you know what, Tim, what you're saying about that with the grass, what was cool about Tiger Stadium, unlike Comerica, you can see the field from outside. But at Tiger Stadium, you came up through a tunnel. Right. And then all of a sudden, boom, there it was. It was just majestic. Yep. It was like, you know, open
here it is. Right, exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, here's the entranceway, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything this weekend, Perry?
Just driving and the family get together. So.
How's the driving going?
A little slow over the holidays. It's going to start picking back up. So
that's good.
Yeah, it'll be good. Eric Reitz, Rockstar's
Limousine. Rockstar's Limousine. Give him a call. Ask for Uncle Perry. What about you, Easus?
Oh,
what do you got going on? You've been on 8. Give me all right, guys. I got Easus on the 1s and 2s, so I got to take some advantage of this. You had a good trip up north?
Yeah.
Saw some pictures?
Yeah. It's something I've been doing the last few years, going on these kind of solo trips up to the UP and just kind of getting away from it all, shutting my phone off and shit like that. So that's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's just sort of the thing that I encourage. That's along the lines of taking time for yourself.
Yeah, I did it last year, and some people thought I was kind of crazy. I don't know, just you're going to go up there by yourself. And I still want to do trips with friends. I still like to go out with friends. But once in a while, just to be by yourself, and I hike through Tequamanon Falls and shit like that.
Good.
It's fun, man, for sure.
No, it's
Get
fun.
away, like I said, get away from the fucking phone. I'm addicted to my phone, so.
But you know what? What do I preach, bro?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness, and you know that. So as long as you do that,
Right.
and you take some time, right? So
Totally.
dude, you're so far ahead of the rest of some of these ass clowns in this fucking life. So don't you just keep
Sometimes.
you keep being you, bro. No, I get
know.
it. But hey,
I know. I appreciate that.
no,
You're right,
but
though.
it's great to know because you know what, and some you never know what, and I love the fact that you share it because people don't know, people are always looking for something new. It's always facilitating.
I try, I'm lucky, obviously I work on, I do the Detroit cast out of here. I help you out sometimes. So I'm lucky that I'm, quote unquote, have a level of following that, that enjoys it. But I really share it for what you kind of just said. I think that, some people don't think maybe they would enjoy going out by themselves for a few days or going up north. We all know up north's there, but
here's the thing which I implore everybody to try and do, right? It's do you.
Right.
And then you know what, when you post pictures of Tony, I'm going to like them.
I know.
When you post pictures of drinking somewhere, I probably won't even see that. I'll like it if it's you having fun.
I know
but what I'm saying is that's me.
Yeah.
But other people look for whatever. So if you do you to the best of your ability, that's all people ever want from you, kid.
Totally.
So keep doing it. So do you have any? Hey, what's up with your boss? Is he ever going to do a show again, or is he
we're
just?
gonna be back here on Monday.
Hey, who okayed that trip for that long? Did T. Roy just say you got to get the fuck out of here, bro?
I don't know, man. Not me, but
No, I know you did.
yeah.
I mean,
he's Mike, so he can do whatever. I guess he can do whatever.
Is that
he
what
wants.
it is?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the week, I'm glad we took the week off, like, for one. I mean, dude, we needed a week off.
Absolutely.
So I was glad we did that. This week's getting a little antsy for me. You know what I mean? I like to talk into microphones and shit. So
absolutely. That's why I got to give you a little bit nugget here on Grind Time with Darren.
Exactly. I got to get a little bit of it out.
Appreciate what you're doing. Do you have any concerts or anything coming up? You're gonna?
No, you know what? This summer, I'm just. Oh, you start going to concerts?
Yeah. Any shows?
No.
You're thinking of?
Man.
Any comedy?
I take the summer off from comedy just because it's just kind of a drag in the summer. You're in empty bars, and it's even worse than even in the fall. And I reset from shit, man. Just because I don't do it. I don't make a living doing comedy. I mostly do it for fun and mostly to practice, just trying to be entertaining and for this show. It's almost like going to practice for my job in reality. So
again, look at the self-awareness.
That's
Self-aware, dude. I behind these glasses right now, there might be a tear. That's all right, Mike. Stay out there as long as you want.
Right.
We'll make sure he just gets some airtime. Hey, and in case anybody,
what do you got going on Sunday night?
Sunday.
Yeah, anything Sunday night? You're going to be up north Saturday. You going to be back Sunday?
Yeah, no, I'll be back. No, I was gonna. Oh, no, I had to mention Perry. So I posted a picture of me and those two little rats, Dolce, who's mine, the princess, 5 pounds of. I mean, God, she's awful. But and her brother Royce. So I posted a picture of those two because those are my pals, and everybody else who sent me in their photos. I'm still going through them. We're going to do something on one of these episodes about furry friends and different kinds of cats, dogs, whatever. I got something I'm doing with it. I appreciate every one of you sending it in. I'm still going through them, but we're going to do something. I don't know when, but a lot of you's got some really, really cute pets out there, and a couple of you got some ugly motherfuckers. But I bet you they still love you anyway, so that's all right. So, Timmy, we're...
That's why you get pets, man. If you're ugly, you get pets because they'll love you. They don't care, unlike some humans.
Well, you know what? That's what, hey, Big Tony... Hey,
self-awareness again.
Wait. So, Tony, if you know Tony, Tony's there, he's just his cat, right? No, Tony's actually... His... I guess personality way outweighs him, right? But he does show him that love. But it's so true. But you got to give yourself a little bit more credit.
Oh, I wasn't talking about me. I don't think I'm ugly. I'm just saying for,
okay, there you go. All right, as long as we're good on that, I don't need you bashing yourself. You're talking about guys like Perry and stuff, right?
No, I mean, I'm just saying we can admit that there are ugly people on the planet, and I think those are the people that pets are for.
But what about people like yourself who aren't ugly that have pets?
I don't know. I'm a weird.
Pets still for. Oh, pets are for ugly people and weirdos.
I'm bad with. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I'm not ugly.
No, absolutely.
I'm not hot, but I'm not ugly. But I'm a weirdo, so that's why I have a cat.
You're a not hot, not ugly weirdo.
Right.
Yes, and you're ours, Jesus. And Bam Bam and I and the rest of the What Up Fam Grind Time family. Thanks you for your service.
Oh, I have no problem. It was a pleasure.
Yep. As always. All right, so Timmy, 11 o'clock. We
tee off.
Brekkie tomorrow.
Have lunch and then tee off.
Sounds good. I look forward to it. Dearborn Country. That's old school. I love that period.
That's a great place.
You know I love old school.
Absolutely.
Shot shaping. All right, Billy. We'll. So anybody out there, so Billy just said that pretty much he's picked up the guitar again, which is pretty much he's willing to hear if anybody has any ideas for a grinder to come back out. That's what Billy said. That's what I got out of the whole conversation.
After Wednesday, can send it to.
Yeah, after Wednesday, you can send it to
say there's a chance.
McCarty.com. So next Wednesday, we got a lot of things. Dylan Playfair from Letterkenny. Your homework out there, Grind Time with Darren McCarty, is check out Letterkenny. My favorite is the coach in the garbage can scenario, if you can find that one in the dressing room. That one is hilarious. We're going to be touching on that, and we will have an in-studio guest. It'll either be in hockey, baseball, or football. I can guarantee you that. But anything else, Perry? We got everything in there?
Yeah, we did good tonight.
Got everything in, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mike.
I appreciate you coming in, Timbo. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
No, at any time, bro. Thanks for telling all my secrets, and to all you guys, I'll send Flambeau back.
Through.
No, I know. That's for next time. All right, guys. So for another Wednesday night here with your host Darren McCarty. But remember, this is so important. No matter how many times you fall down, you must get back up. That's Grind Time. We're out.